Welcome to All New Look Back in Amber, the official podcast from us Newport County fans. From exclusive interviews to interesting inside insights, since 2010 we've been the best place to be for all things audio. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, I'm Lamsie and I'm asking all the big questions.
I'm Stephen. Late goals, dropping points. What should the gaffer do?
I'm Luke. I'll have your post-match interview with Gaffer Graham Cochrane, and I'd like to ask, what can actually be achieved this season?
Never miss a by following us wherever you find this podcast. Listen live at 2 p.m. on a Sunday and 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after all League 2 home matches.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Okay, so very occasionally there are things more important than football. Not very often, but very occasionally. I think we've got to start off the show by wishing Tom Lockyer all the very, very best and a very speedy recovery. Not a nice thing to see in football at any level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, sometimes things just happen. It puts like all things into perspective. And yeah, we just can only wish the best for him and his family.
Okay. Aside from that, it began a week ago in Tranmere.
It did.
Oh, it was cold. It was wet. It was windy.
And that just describes how we were playing.
And again, it just sucks the whole way of you. We're watching County and we're all wrapped up. We've got various beverages. Me and Luke are on the softer ones. Stephen's on the slightly harder version.
Absolutely. You're only in Liverpool once.
Only in Liverpool once. Started the party early. And that first half, I was really optimistic. And it's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
Yeah.
But let's move on with this one. So this week it began in the Marquee at 1:30 with the NCL warm-up team. Great job as always. Very busy in there. 300 kids from Cumbrae Town.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Wow.
So that was good.
Did
and
they're
brilliant.
Did they all ask questions?
Yeah, they did. We had Josh and Declan there as well. So they don't all ask questions. That'd be a lot.
No, but were there 300 kids eligible to ask questions?
The one thing we forgot to brief them on is the Ronaldo Messi question that used to crop up.
Ronaldo?
Well, it's like Messi and Ronaldo, and it solves the problem.
Ronaldo again.
Yeah, because it solves the problem, right? Because you can't choose between one or the other because it's the same geezer.
If only we could have a hybrid player, a bit of a mix of the two, and we could call him Ronaldo.
Well, you two take it easy on me today. Yeah. I've had a hot date with ITV News at 9 o'clock this morning after crawling at 5 o'clock this morning. So, be gentle. Anyway, right, so Cumbrae Town, really good to see them, and a welcome return for Right Keys only in the Marquee. Fantastic as always. We didn't have a sound engineer yesterday, but we got through it a little bit, so thank you to Right Keys only for doing that and putting up with us. Continued at 3 p.m. in the compy with Stephen, Chris and Luke.
No, I wasn't actually in the compy.
No, you weren't there. You're over the dark side.
I was. More to come on Boxing Day as I control the LED boards at Rodney Parade.
Oh, look at us. Could we get any more official if we tried, We're all over the ground at the moment. Okay, Stephen, talk to me about Grimsby and their recent form.
Yeah, well, Grimsby, they won their last match 2-1 against Crewe. They were unbeaten in their last 5 league matches, 1-2, drawn 3. Grimsby Town drawn their previous 2 away matches, and then their last 5 away matches, they had drawn 3, lost 2. Grimsby Town had yet to win away this season, drawn 5, lost 5. The last win away was in April 2023, obviously this year, a 2-1 win at Doncaster. And on their last 5 visits to Rodney Parade, Grimsby had 1-1 and lost 4.
Okay, look, how did Newport County line up yesterday afternoon?
Newport County were unchanged from the side that put 4 past Barnet on Tuesday night in the second round replay of the Emirates FA Cup. We had Nick Townsend and goal, back through Matty Baker, James Clark and Ryan Delaney, Shane McLaughlin and Lewis Payne as the wing back, Scott Bennett, Bryn Morris and Aaron Wildig in midfield with Seb Palmer Holden and Omar Bogle up front.
Okay, with the power of audio, let's transport you back to 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Hello there, fresh from making it through to the FA Cup third round. Newport County are back in league action against Grimsby Town, who themselves reached the quarter-finals of the Cup last season. Mariners are back in port, having failed to win an away game all season and have changed their manager recently. But Bryn Morris was one of the Grimsby goal scorers as they won 2-0 here last season. Chris Chappell with you on commentary, alongside a man who's always very wary of an inflatable haddock. It's Stephen Howell.
Yeah, nothing fishy going on in this commentary today, I promise. Yeah, great. How nice it is to be back on home soil. Did a little visit to Tranmere last week. Let's hope we have more luck this afternoon.
Corner taken by McLaughlin towards the far post. Delaney free header, and it's pushed away by the goalkeeper at the near post. Quarter of an hour gone. His marker had slipped. Delaney had loads of time to think about what he was going to do. Headed it down, but it wasn't quite directed low enough in the corner, and Cartwright pushed it clear. McLaughlin controls it on the right hand side, low ball in, it comes off the defender Glennon and spirals over his own crossbar. County have it back now with Aaron Wilding up to Palmer Holden, and spots Bogle out on the right. It's a great ball. Runners herring to the edge of the box as Bogle delivers the ball, far post, Palmer Holden hits the underside of the crossbar, and Newport County have another chance with Bogle, with a save low in his near post from Harvey Cartwright. Superb move from the exiles, Palmer Holden, at the beginning and the end of it. So unlucky, it was a super ball from the right, and he could only find the goal frame as Cartwright looked beaten from a few yards out of the far post. And we've got a corner. It's out as far as Morris controls it, then shoots and curls it over the bar. But Grimsby on the rack there. And the impressive Palmer Holden, how close was he there?
Yeah, what a superb passage of play. Started with that great pass in it by Palmer Holden. Bogle screaming, play it first time, and he did. And then a brilliant shot, but unfortunately hit the bar. And then Bogle follows up, goes wide. Yeah, I think he needed that just to wake the crowd up a little bit, because it was a bit subdued before that.
Grim Morris again. Chipped out to Payne in space, right hand side. Keeps it in play on the line. Curling cross. Headed back by his midfielder, and it's turned in by Bogle at the near post. County get the goal. Their pressure is deserved. Teed up by McLaughlin. And it's the former Grimsby man who turns it in. Omar Bogle with his 8th of the season against his former employers, who sold him for £750,000 around 7 years ago. And it was really Conte who headed the ball across his own box. It was picked up by McLaughlin on the left hand side, and his cross back in was expertly turned home by Bogle. And County deservedly in front.
Oh yeah, absolutely, they needed that, didn't they? Finally they've got the breakthrough. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing, letting that ball go across the box, but McLaughlin was onto it, and just the man you want, didn't it? Against his former club as well, to tap home and give County the lead, which, like you said, they definitely deserve.
Fired across goal, and it's turned in. Grimsby have the equaliser with just over 12 minutes to go. The substitute Holohan immediately with an impact, and sliding in was Danny Rose for his 9th of the season. Cross from the right, it was in that really dangerous corridor along the 6-yard box behind the defence in front of the goalkeeper. And very brave there to throw himself in. 2 players, Rose and the man who was marking him, are in some pain here. They're going to need some attention. But that's immediately dampened the mood here.
Yeah, well, when you make a substitution, you want it to have an effect on you, and this is exactly what's happened. Holohan with his 4th assist of the season, so it's exactly what he was brought on to do. Yeah, he put the ball into a dangerous area, didn't he? Like I said, Rose was brave, and Townsend, and I'm not sure who else is down, but yeah, hopefully they're all right. But really disappointed to concede an equaliser with 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go. They were in such a good position, and they've let Grimsby back into the game.
That's it. It ends locked at 1-1. And that's now 4 league games at Rodney Parade without defeat, but County will feel aggrieved somewhat that they didn't win this game. Palmer Holden hitting the crossbar 10 minutes into the second half. They then got the goal with just under 20 minutes to go, but could only hold the lead for 6 minutes before Danny Rose threw himself in from close range to beat Townsend. And it's the spoils shared at Rodney Parade. Newport County 1, Grimsby Town 1.
Thanks to Stephen and Chris for that one. Happy Christmas, Chris Chappell, as well. And thank you for everything that you do for us every single year. We really, really appreciate it. We can find out what Stephen and Luke think about that game and all the talking points from it next. But first of all, let's hear from the Newport County manager, Graham Coughlin.
I think we deserved to win it. We should have won it. But again, the unreliability, the lack of clean sheet, and 1 or 2 players that I want to be able to trust let me down. So it's not normal. They don't normally do that. But there's a very, very soft goal against, and that's 3 points again. I stood here in front of the cameras last week, felt we chucked 3 points away. If it wasn't 3 at Tranmere, then it might have been 1. Get out of Tranmere with a point, and certainly 3 points today. So we're just chucking points away too willy-nilly, too easily, and I've got to stop that. I've got to address that. 1 or 2 players will need to be changed. 1 or 2 things will need to happen to stop that, because I know my remit was stay in, survive and things like that, but I want a little bit more than that. And I think we can achieve a little bit more than that with 1 or 2 fresh faces, 1 or 2 additions. But look, and make no mistake, yes, we were the better team, yes, we had chances, and yes, we should have won that game. We've chucked it away.
You brought Will Evans off the bench. You were going to bring him on a little bit earlier, and then of course you scored. How close was he to starting? How is the ankle for him?
I don't know how close he was to starting. I don't think he was close to starting. I think the best we probably would have got out of Will was a half an hour, the last half an hour. Then I'm running the risk of any type of contact again on the ankle, and that then puts him back a couple of weeks. So it was a risk. I think it's a risk worth taking. Will probably won't thank me for it, but I wanted Will on the pitch. He's our talisman, he's our main striker, he leads the line terrifically well, he gives us that energy, them legs, and we needed that. We need that from Will. But yeah, I took a risk putting him on, to be honest, and I took a risk later on playing with the 3 strikers, whereby should we have maybe gone a little bit more defensive minded. But I don't want to be in that habit where we're hanging on to 1-0 wins or 1-0 leads. I don't want to be in the habit where we sit back. I want to be a front foot team. I want to go and attack teams. But look, in the first half we had a couple of chances. We had some glorious set pieces that had gone in, and we really should be punishing and taking chances that are coming our way. We were the better team today. We were better with the ball. But I stand here before you with 1 point and not 3. So that's probably the annoyance, and that's the frustration.
And if the gang that were sort of before 2 p.m. doing their fitness, are they getting closer? Adam Lewis, Kyle?
Yeah, they're walking, as you're saying. They are walking. They are doing a shift. So again, hopefully we can have 1 or 2 of them come back throughout the Christmas period. It would be nice, and it would alleviate a little bit of pressure on the team, on the current squad. And you could probably see later on at Tranmere, later on tonight, you could see us. You know, we do need that freshness. I think Grimsby made a couple of subs that Houlihan and Green that come on and change the game for them, change the momentum. So we need substitutions that can come on and do that for us. And I thought Will and Harry Charsley, they're typical examples. So we could get another couple of Wills and Harry Charsleys to come on and change game and give us that energy. But we keep improving. We will keep working, and we will keep digging deep. But I've got to eradicate the errors or the suicidal factor to our defence.
How much does your plans in January rely on the takeover from Hugh Jenkins?
Well, I've not really. I'd like to do a little bit in January. If the takeover happens, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're being told it will. So let's wait and see. But yeah, we've identified 1 or 2 players that we'd like to bring in.
Have you had talks with Hugh Jenkins about January yet, or is that yet to come for you?
No, Hugh hasn't come in yet. He's still waiting on the they say dot the I's and cross the T's? Is it the formalities? So when he comes in, we'll no doubt sit down and have a chat, have a conversation.
Can I just check, Matty Baker, when they scored, he seemed to pick up an injury. What's the situation with Matty?
Well, it's what we 10-15 minutes after the game. So look, with these injuries, it's normally 24 hours whether they blow up, whether the swelling increases. But he's taken a whack, so he's injured at this moment in time. When he wakes up in the morning, I might have more information for you on Monday morning. But I don't think it's too serious. I don't think it's a long term. Well, touch wood, I hope. But I just think it could be a 48-hour or a 2-3 day injury. It's an impact injury, which I don't actually mind impact injuries because you can run them off. It's the muscular injuries that we want to avoid. And over the last month or two, we have been avoiding them. So look, impact injury. We hope it's only bruising and it doesn't hinder him. And
now this time next week, the big one, Wrexham. Do you treat it as a normal game, or is there added pressure on it with the added factor of it being a derby?
How else would I treat it? It's a game of football. It's a derby. It's 3 hours up the road. But look, it'll be a big game. It'll be one for us to look forward to. We'll roll our sleeves up and we'll have a right fight. We'll have a right go of it. It's one that the players should be looking forward to as well. It would have been really nice to go into it with a win. A draw at Tranmere and a win tonight, but we haven't. Yes, you can, all the positives of a win during the week, a draw or unbeaten or whatever the case may be, it doesn't. I'm clutching at straws with that. We should have won again today, and it's just there's too many points slipping away at this moment in time. But yeah, we are looking forward to next week, and we will certainly be right up for it.
Thank you very much, Graham.
There you go, Luke asking the questions. Merry Christmas, Gaffer, as well.
Merry Christmas, Graham.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Okay. Stephen, what do you make of all that?
Yeah, well, where do I start? Yeah, I think
first half.
Yeah.
Because that was best bit.
I will go through it chronologically as usual. I thought Grimsby started off quite well, actually. They're quite dangerous in the wide areas. But then I think Newport kind of got the measure of them, and they began to impose themselves on the game, especially, I'd say, around after the first 10-15 minutes. And I thought Newport in the first half were really, really good in possession. They were patient in the build-up play. They seemed to be getting a bit of joy in midfield because Grimsby played like 4-2-3-1, but one of the holding two used to push forward. And what I thought Coughlin did really well was he put either Wildig or Morris onto Conte, the deep-lying midfielder. And I think that was preventing Grimsby from a lot of their build-up play. Yeah, I think they were really unlucky not to go in ahead. They had a couple of really good chances. I think it was Delaney and Bogle. But then the second half started, as I said in the commentary, it was really subdued. Took until the 54th minute. Brilliant crossfield pass by Seb Palmer-Holden to find Bogle, who then set him up. And his shot come off the underside of the crossbar, and then Bogle missed with a follow-up. But that kind of woke the ground up a little bit then, I thought. And then got the goal, which I thought they deserved. I thought it was... what they deserved to be in front on a balance of play at that point. And then Grimsby made a couple of changes after the goal. It had immediate impact, as I said in the commentary. Holohan set up the goal, and he was unlucky actually not to give him the lead when the ball fell into him in the area. Clifton for them was causing problems with his runs. As I just said, he kind of pushed forward of the two holding midfielders. And I don't think Newport could deal with him really, and he almost got a chance for himself as well. But it was a really good man of the match tackle, I'd say, by Ryan Delaney. Yeah, Newport not really causing them too many problems. Palm Holden had a shot, Bogle had an effort, and then I just think it's really, really disappointing that they didn't hold on for the win, and I can see why Graham Coughlin's not happy about it.
Yeah, and it was coming from the press conference, which obviously you were there, so maybe you're the best person to also comment on this one. It's still that frustration in his voice, and there's still that feeling that there's still not enough within the squad.
Yes, that's definitely what I took from Graham Coughlin yesterday. As he said, we should have won yesterday, and I completely agree with him. First half, I think I said to you guys, how we weren't 1 or 2-0 up, I don't know. We were in absolute control in that first half, whether that was the amount of possession we had, the amount of chances we created. on times it just seemed like we set up camp just outside the Grimsby penalty box. You were just waiting for a goal to come. But yeah, soft goal yesterday, I think. Tranmere, obviously we were there first half again, we were superb, should have been 2 or 3-0 up at half time, and then Tranmere came out in the second half, and yeah, we all know what happened. Obviously they scored twice, Colin Drennan scored late on again to deny Newport. There's a running theme there. He said it himself, this kind of carbon copy to 12 months ago. See yourself through till January, get a couple of players. It's nice to see he's identified kind of the type of player he wants, which I think is really, really encouraging. And yeah, I think the squad is, even though we got players back, I don't think we've got players on the bench that are League 2 quality.
I think he is limited in with his options on the bench at the moment. I think that's what's maybe frustrating him as well. He's either got young players or inexperienced players like Nathan Wood. I mean, yeah, it's his first season in League 2, so James Waite, he's been with the club a while now. Is he good enough? I'm not so sure. I think he might be better off moving on and bring some other players in. Keeban Rai is the one I would have probably bought on yesterday.
Yes.
To add a bit of zip.
I think I said to you, why didn't he bring him on? Matty Bonswell as well. When Matty Bonswell comes on, he's quick, even if it's for 5-10 minutes to the end of the game. He's quick. He can run at defenders when they're 80-90 minutes into the game and they're tired. You've got Matty Bonswell running at speed. That's quite tricky.
I think the conundrum he's got really is he's got Payne on one side, who I think is playing really, really well at the moment. I'm loving watching him. He's growing into that role as the right wing back now. He's getting a run of games and got a goal during the week, didn't he, in the FA Cup. He was in a similar position yesterday as well at one point, I think. And then you've got McLaughlin on the other side, obviously was filling in as a left back, but he's playing really, really well. Do you take one of them off? I'd be toying with that. But yeah, like you said, Bonswell, when he comes on, can have an impact as well, can he?
But in a couple of weeks' time, you just said about both Payne and McLaughlin doing really well in a few weeks' time, and it's something that you alluded to there, something I noticed yesterday. For about an hour before the teams came out to warm up, Adam Lewis, Nelson Sanka, who else was out there? Carl Jameson, and there's one other that I can't think of at the moment.
Seabury?
No, he was in the marquee, but they were out there running.
Josh. Oh yeah, Josh was sorry.
But they were out there running for about an hour before the game, just laps around the pitch. So when Adam Lewis comes back, and I know I mentioned it before, you said that Payne and McLaughlin are kind of nailing down those roles. How does he get back into the team?
Yeah. Well, it's going to take him a little while to get back to full fitness as well, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a nice problem to have. I think we'll have 4 good wing backs then. So, yeah, I'll be quite happy with that.
I want to pick up a couple of things for you guys. So, first of all, the time it took. So, we seem to get the measure of Grimsby quite quickly. And then Grimsby made some changes early in the second half, early-ish.
Yeah, well, he was forced into one, wasn't he, with Baker going off after the goal. So, yeah.
Do we feel that and I know we spoke about it off air, and I think, Luke, it was your point, did we make the hour changes too late?
I think so, yeah, because as Cochran said, Houlihan came off the bench, and as you rightly said in the commentary, Stephen picked up an assist. We didn't make our first change to the 82nd minute when Will Evans came on.
I understand that should have happened about the 79th minute with the fourth official. Is that correct?
Yeah, it should have happened a little bit quicker. Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, there was a really, really funny moment with Graham shouting at the fourth official yesterday. And Jared handed him the board as well. I think it was Jared anyway. If it wasn't, I do apologise, but it was somebody off the bench anyway. And just
threw it at him.
I don't think the fourth official was pleased because he was over with Baker as Baker was walking down the pitch, and you could see Graham shouting at him and gesturing about the substitutions. And yeah, it was just a really funny little moment.
When we sit down, we talk about the whole what happened in the game. You guys walk me through it. I haven't got the stats in front of me, so feel free to correct me. I'm just going on perception based on what we talked about earlier. There seemed to be a lot of county chances that went begging yesterday.
In the first half, more so. They didn't really create that much in the second half, did they, really?
No, and I think that's kind of something that Graham said himself in the press conference, and something I've noticed in terms of the first half. We play really, really, really well, go 1 or 2-0 up, maybe 1-2-1. And in the second half, we I don't know whether we collapse or whether I think this is something that one of the issues that Graham Coughlin was talking about yesterday in his post-match press conference in terms of something that he needs to do in January, because it can't continue. And I think that's moving into your talking point territory, so I'm going to shut up for the time.
Yeah, we'll park that one for now, and we'll come back to that one, because it is an interesting, and this is why Stephen's talking about, it's interesting to go into. Right, okay, so let's go to the absolutely county man of the match.
Pronunciation is your strong point today.
I'm all over the Lamsie.
It's your string point. I mean,
definitely my string point.
Before we move on to that, Zanzala was the other player I could think of who was out there doing his going through the fitness stuff. So your options yesterday for absolute county man of the match were Shane McLaughlin, Omar Bogle, Bryn Morris against his former side, and other. So Stephen, who was your man of the match yesterday? Who got sponsors man of the match as well, by the way?
Ryan Delaney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
straight after he did that really, really good tackle to stop Houlihan scoring.
Who was your man of the match yesterday?
Who was my man of the match? Do you know what? I think even though he didn't score anything, I've been bigging him up. I'm going to say Lewis Payne for me. I loved watching him yesterday.
Okay. 47% of people said Shane McLaughlin.
Yeah.
So Shane McLaughlin is the official absolutely county
Morris
man of the
did
match.
well. Will Digg, I thought, had a good game as well, dropping deep on times, and like I said, he was taking Conte out of the game. So yeah, I could have given it to. I just thought I'd go a bit left field today.
Okay, a couple of points before we go into the talking points. Got to pick up on a few things. Got to say hello to Taff Martin, who kindly messaged us. Didn't message us. It's on the Facebook wall. I'm showing my age now, and so we're on Facebook. So thank you, Taff, for the love that you've shown us out there.
Listening all the way in sunny Australia.
I know. I love the way you went on holiday to another part of Australia. Now that's foreign to me, because for 50 years I've been trying to get to Australia, and I've not managed it yet. Yet this geezer is not only in Australia, he's on a holiday in Australia. So that was brilliant. So Taff, hello. I was in Atlantica last night. Again, I've got two modes. I've got Newport City Radio mode, and I've got DJ in Atlantica mode, or DJ mode, and the two shall not cross.
Yeah.
So apologies.
It's a bit like Ghostbusters.
It is.
Don't cross
you can't
the streams.
Cross the streams.
Yeah.
But a gentleman did come up to me yesterday and said he enjoys what we're doing, and again, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sorry I didn't get the name, and I'm sorry I didn't have a conversation with you about it. But I'm about 3 minutes away from another mix, so it's very time restricted on that one. But again, we mentioned on the last show, we're starting to see this physical feedback. People coming up to us and saying hello to us. Helps when you're wearing a big branded logo, I suppose, on your hoodie, and also on social media. And please keep it coming. It means absolutely everything to us.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. And keep on telling us what you think.
And while we're engendering the spirit of Christmas and saying thank yous, can I just personally say thank you to everybody? Again, a small part of it over the marquee yesterday. Toys for Families.
Yeah.
What a thing that has been this year.
It's been absolutely phenomenal. Opening our doors on a Wednesday, and
freezing.
Obviously, I know. And another county, I think the response we've had is absolutely phenomenal, and it just goes to show the community spirit in Newport, everyone united together to create unforgettable memories one at a time this Christmas.
And they're being delivered now, right at this moment in time. Wherever you listen to this podcast, the prizes have gone out to those 200 families, we think it's so far, that they're going to go to.
Amazing.
Someone to give an update on that one. The cute thing about county fans, is that people have just thrown us toys, and they've been in all sorts of shapes and sizes and conditions. Not too bad, obviously, got to be good. The toys have got to be good, but some of the boxes are a bit tattered yet. No county fans, they bring them over in nice bags. And that was just such a cute moment yesterday. So again, thank you very, very much for that. Okay, I'm going to shut my face about thanking people now, even though it is kind of Christmassy. Stephen, what you got next for us?
Late goals, dropping points at home. What should the gaffer do?
Okay, do you need help saving for big events like planning for a family? Luke? Newport Credit Union.
Not yet.
Me and Stephen have passed that bit. Newport Credit Union will help you through it. To find out more and see how they can help you, join them and search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
Yeah, so for my talking point this week, I'm going to ask, turning draws into wins, is it something we need to change? And also, how costly is dropping points at home going to be? So before we have a chat about it, let's hear from the manager, Graham Coughlin.
It would have been frustrating whenever you conceded, but having worked so hard to get yourself ahead, to then concede within 5 minutes must annoy you especially.
Yeah, but look, I can look back on the goals, 90 odd minutes goals, we're conceding goals 90 on, whether it's a mentality, whether it's a leadership, whether it's the same bodies playing week in, week out, and there's a number of factors in there. But I would expect us to manage the game better.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Graham. You caught me a bit on the hop there. Yeah, the reason why I've decided to do this talking point is we drew 1-1 with Grimsby yesterday, failed to get a result after taking the lead. We've drawn 3 of our last 4 home matches. We beat Stockport, drew the 3. And in 2 of those games, Newport had taken the lead and dropped points against Grimsby, but also took the lead last week against Tranmere away and lost. But I'm focusing on the home games rather than the away games, but it did happen last week, so that's why I bring it up. So, given all that, I've got a couple of other things I'm going to mention, but I'll keep them for a minute. Luke Lewis, so what should the gaffer do?
He kind of said there it could be down to a couple of different things. It could be down to personnel. It could be down to the amount of games they've played, and that's true. I think you look at those players there. Obviously, Nick Townsend. You think he missed 1 or 2 games when Johnny Maxted had a running goal. Ryan Delaney has played every single game this season. So too has Shane McLaughlin. James Clark is coming back from injury. I know he's been back for a couple of weeks now, but still it takes time for him to get set up back into playing. Matty Baker is young and he's still growing. Yeah, this is something that obviously does need to be cut out of our game, like you say yesterday. 1-0 up, 1-1. Tranmere went 1-0 up in the first half, and then lost 2-1. Barnet 1-0 up in the FA Cup when we played them in Rodney Parade. We went 1-0 up, and then they drew 1-1. Yeah. But then you look at the Morecambe game. You know, Morecambe went 1-0 up, and exactly the same thing that you're about to go into happened for Newport County at that time. And then Stockport, again, kind of what you're talking about. Still, we won, but should have been 2-0. A really, really, really late goal there.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So, what should he do? I think it's down to personnel, personally. Whether it's... Because I was thinking yesterday...
So if he changes the personnel, there's not going to be wholesale changes. Will it get any better?
Yes, because I think if he changes personnel, maybe Carl Jameson comes in, maybe Adam Lewis comes in as a wing back. That might bring a bit more solidity, and as well, what that will bring is defensive reinforcements, which is the one thing that he hasn't had for most of the season. Because you look on the bench, if Delaney, if Clark got injured, Matty Baker got injured yesterday, who do you bring on? There's no one on the bench to bring on, unless you bring Scott Bennett into defence. But then you're moving someone who's really, really good holding midfielder into the back. I think when Carl Jameson comes back, that'll give him more options, so he can bring off James Clark after 60, 70 minutes. You could bring Ryan Delaney off after 60, 70 minutes. And I think...
Would you take Delaney off?
I'm just using it as an example.
I think with Clark, I think you've said, Clark's playing much more than what he wants him to be at the moment. He's still coming back. So I think, He
hasn't got those options on the bench, though. Unless you, like I say, you put McLaughlin or Payne or Bennett at the back. He hasn't got those options on the bench like he has in midfield or he has up top. I think that's where January is going to be really, really important. Obviously, we know Jameson, like I said, is just about to return from injury. Josh Seabury, we think, is going to be out for the rest of the season. So apart from that, we haven't got anyone else at the back. And if we're playing the back 3, you're going to need 2 or 3 players as cover in those positions, which for me he hasn't got.
Mr. Lamsie,
I don't know what the message was yesterday. Maybe you two can help me out.
I thought I was going to say I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's that as well. But no, I don't know what Graham's message was yesterday, because was he saying in the post-match that honestly he hasn't got the quality of personnel that's needed to do the job that he wants to do?
Yeah.
Because again, there's this recognition that he was brought in, he saved the club, and there he's eager to push on. And now that's going to fall into your talking point in a second, Luke. Yeah, but that's a dangerous thing, because it's okay saying that I haven't got the players because of fitness and an injury, but it's another thing to say that you don't think your squad's good enough, and surely that's going to start causing a bit of disquiet in the dressing room.
I don't think he was saying that his squad isn't good enough. I just think what he's saying is 1 or 2 fresh faces to add maybe a little bit more depth in some areas, i.e. at the back, and just freshen things up. We've seen last season when we brought in Matty Baker, when we brought in Harry Charsley, when we brought in Callum Kavanagh and Charlie McNeil, the impact that they had, whether it be options up top and allowing others to rest. We've seen when McNeil and Kavanagh came in, we've seen almost Omar Bogo reborn. When he had the opportunity to be rested, he came back on. He was sharper. He was hungrier. And I think he had a really, really good goal return in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think it's that's one side of it. The other side of it is that when Graham brought in, he was saying that there has to be mental toughness. Now, again, I'm not quite sure what he meant by that, but whatever he meant, it seemed to work for a little bit. And the fact that we can't seem to close out games, and we saw this in Tranmere. I know you don't want to talk about away games too much, but we sat there in the freezing cold, like all Katie fans do. We're not we're not claiming to be there every single home away game, because we're not, but it gives you certainly a different appreciation of it.
Yeah.
And they were great in the first half and fell off in the second half. Why are we falling off in the second half? So, more importantly, how do we stop it? Yeah. And I'm feeling that there needs to be a couple of things that need to happen. We need to score more than one goal. Somehow, more than one goal against the opposition. Yeah. So it has to be at least 2 clear goals free. Yeah. And then we need to implement seeing out a game and managing the game.
I was just going to say, one of my things I was going to ask you is do you think that he needs to be a bit more pragmatic? Because he says there, even though they're 1-0 up, he's still going to go for it. But then by going for it, you're dropping points. Sometimes I would say you probably need to be a bit pragmatic and see it out.
Probably not a 1-0 because it's taking a risk, and we've been exposed at that too much this season. We can't just stop at 1 goal plus. We need to get 2 goals plus and then think about closing out the game. A bit like what Everton are doing at the moment. Thank you very much.
Ever who?
Yeah.
Ever minus 10 points?
Not anymore. We're +2, thank you. Right, so that's my view on it, mate.
Do you need help saving for big events like planning a family? Newport Credit Union will help you through it. To find out more and see how they can help you and to join them, search online for Newport Credit Union.
And what's next, Luke?
Coming up next, I'd like to ask the guys what can actually be achieved this season.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Yeah, so as I just alluded to for this week, for my talking point, I would like to ask the guys for their thoughts on what can actually be achieved this season. Now, at the start of the season, many county fans, including I think us here in the studio, were saying safety. As long as we survive, whether it's by a point, whether it's by goal difference, we'll take it. We're nearly at the midpoint of the season. I think things have changed. So before we ask the guys their thoughts, let's hear from the main man himself, Graham Coughlin.
If you could cut that out, what could you achieve this season if you can solve that issue that's costing you points?
But we can't cut it out and we can't solve it. We've tried, we've worked, we've changed system, and we just can't eradicate it. So therefore, I have to look at the personnel.
And when you say personnel, it's not about changing the team, it's about bringing new people in January.
Yeah, just a couple of players just to make us better, just to improve us in certain areas. And that hopefully will happen. Them lads have run themselves to the ground. Them lads have really worked hard for this football club. They do. They're an honest bunch of lads. Nobody will on the outside, I won't let anybody have anything disrespectful to say about them. But they are letting themselves down occasionally, and they are making mistakes at vital periods in games, and that hurts. That hurts. But they're a terrific bunch of lads, and let nobody say any different. They're a brilliant bunch of lads. They run their socks off. They work their socks off. They run into the ground. They put their bodies on the line. All that character, that DNA. But there does come a time where you have to maybe just look for that little bit more quality, and I think we're probably at that stage now at the football club.
He's looking for more quality, Stephen, which is kind of what we talked about then in part of your talking point. We're 6 points outside of the playoffs. We're on 26 points at the moment. Wimbledon, who occupy the last playoff spot, are on 32 points. Hugh Jenkins' takeover is really, really close. The January window, as I said, is on the horizon. What can be achieved this season, in your opinion?
Well, funny you should say that, because doing my talking point just now, I did leave out a stat, which I will read to you. So let's just imagine now
sneaky today,
that we're sitting here and my talking point didn't happen. We hadn't dropped all those points at home. So let's just imagine that we won those games that I've been talking about. Newport would be 6 points better off, and they would be sitting 7th or 8th in the table. And then we could be sitting here saying, oh, well, we yes, his remit has changed. We've got a playoff push now. We can push for the playoffs. Problem is, though, as Graham has just alluded to, I think it's good what he's saying. Like his remit was keep the club in the Football League. He's done that, and I love him being ambitious and wanting to progress. We've talked about the crawl, walk, run thing with the team. We've spoken a lot about that, and we make them hard to beat and then building. And I think at the moment we are kind of seeing an evolution of the team. I'm going to bring that word back. And because like yesterday, like the way they were playing, and like with Seb Palmer-Holden's movement, they were playing these beautiful balls through to him. And we probably wasn't seeing that so much last season. We could well be sat here saying we're pushing. It's still not out of 6 points. It's not that much, is it? No. Between now and May. I mean, yeah, they could quite easily make that up. I mean, like I said, with a couple of players coming in, yeah, I wouldn't be putting all my chips on the Hugh Jenkins takeover coming in and saving the day. I think they need to kind of probably, build, assuming that you can't really plan for it unless you know what's happening. Can you? I mean, I don't think it will be that long. So, but like I said, yeah, I think I just love it. I love his ambition, and you want that from your manager. You want him to be kind of, he's been there over a year now. He wants to push the team on. And I think he is slowly bringing in like the players he's brought in, like Morris, McLaughlin, Payne, Palmer-Holden. He is pushing that team on. I mean, unfortunately, he's been unlucky with the injuries, hasn't he? So I don't think they're not in a relegation worry now, are they? Really? I think they're 10 points ahead of Forest Green, something like that. Is it?
11 points.
Yeah, 11
with them
points
to come on Boxing Day.
Exactly. So. Yeah, you got to aim high now and start pushing up the table. I mean, I spoke about it, didn't I? Taking points above some teams above you, home at least. Yeah, I think his remit has probably changed a little bit.
Do you agree with Stephen there, Lamsie? Do you think his remit has changed? And if it has changed, what do you think his remit is at the moment?
Yeah, I to take yours, I completely agree with Stephen. I wrote down on my sheet safety plus. So what I mean by that is that I think in order for the manager to feel valued and that he's doing a great job, it has to be better than this time last season, which I think it probably is. I think we've got to be, if we can, realistic as fans and say, right, okay, it's safety, but not the discomfort of being in the relegation zone. I think that would be a lovely place to be as a base camp. And then we go for there. But then you factor in the amount of injuries that we've had, and we've talked about this squad and stuff like that. Have we actually seen a proper squad for Newport County for the last 3 months? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And it's exciting to see what will happen. So why can't we dream big and see how far we get? I've not looked at the points tally, so I don't know where we are in terms of potential playoffs. And dare we dream of that?
6 points off.
6 points off. It's achievable. Mm-hmm. So you did mention, didn't you? I was busy scrolling down my paper.
That's right.
I did hear it. So we could dare to dream here a little bit, and there's nothing wrong in that. I think also, I think we're minded and we're right not to think about the Hugh Jenkins element. I've got a feeling that will be more to play at the end of this season, going to the next season. I think we've now consolidation. That's another word that's in my head as well. Yeah. Consolidate this season. Get the club ticking over in the right way behind the scenes, and hopefully that will benefit the on-the-pitch stuff, which ain't doing too badly given the circumstances. Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Because one thing to pick up on there, we always see in League 2, one team come from absolutely nowhere and make the playoffs. I think League 2 is so tight at the moment. We're in 17th, and we're 6 points off 10 places above us. There's 10 points separating 10 places. Or 6 points separating 10 places. So one team, if they put a run of wins together or run of positive results together, you're going to shoot up this table.
Yeah.
And that could be us.
That could be us.
That could be us.
Bristol Rovers done it one year, was it?
Bristol Rovers and Bolton did it the other year when they went up.
I think the key thing is that we are playing better football.
Yes.
I think we all agree on that, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for that, Lamsie. What have we got coming up next?
Well, we got news of a very special edition of Look Back in Amber. Well, special to us. It's an annual thing that we'll talk about in a second, and also talking about the next games, which might include a local derby or not, or two.
Do you need help saving for big events like moving house? Newport Credit Union will help you through it. To find out more and to see how to join them, search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Okay, right. Let's get into business on this one. Sorry, but these are local derbies, and we've got two of them back to back. I don't care what anybody says, right? I'm nailing my colours to the mast and saying...
Even though Wrexham is a 2.5 hour drive, as we've seen on the weekend?
It's our local Welsh derby, and we're going to celebrate it, and we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to win. And the same to Forest Green Rovers, which I think, in terms of mileage, are our local rivals.
Yeah.
I think Forest Green are the closest team to
so
us.
It's derby season. I don't care. Right, talk to me. Look, Wrexham, we travel there, as we did last weekend. The team
just
travel there.
Outside of Wrexham, we were.
Yeah, we just shaved it, didn't we, on the way through?
Yeah.
And that's on that next Saturday, the 23rd December, pre-Christmas Eve action.
It is.
What do you think, Luke?
Last time we played Wrexham in league form, obviously, was that famous day at Wembley. Last time we played them competitively, though, was the FA Cup second round a couple of years ago. We beat them 4-0 at Rodney Parade. Wrexham haven't beaten us since September 2012 when they beat us 2-0 at the racecourse. I think we're going to turn up. I think Adam Lewis could potentially return. 1-0 Newport. I think it's going to be a really, really late goal and send our County fans into a frenzy.
I think there's some prizes in this game. I think Adam Lewis is being kept under wraps. I might be giving it away to Wrexham fans now, sorry, but there you go. But I think we might have a few pre-Christmas presents, I think, in that game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the result as well. Stephen, what do you reckon?
Well, yeah, they're on a really good run of form. Only lost one game in the last 12. Only one defeat, I think, in the last. I've put away games, but it's a home game. Interestingly, though, we haven't met in the Football League since 1987-88. The Football League, not the National League. That was in Division 4. We won 2-0 at home and we lost 4-1 away. But Newport's last win in Wrexham in league football was in February 1968, a 1-0 win in Division 4. So it's been a while since we've had a win. So given all that, we're going to win 2-1.
Hey, brilliant. Okay, then home to Forest Green Rovers on Boxing Day. Just what we all need. A trip to Rodney Parade on Boxing Day. Woo! The All Request Disco is in the marquee, and we can't wait to play your favourite songs. You'll be able to vote for your favourite songs on Facebook, Twitter, very, very soon. Probably on Wednesday. Very quickly, guys, because we're running out of time. Luke, just give me a score on this one.
3-0 Newport.
3-0 Newport. Stephen?
2-0.
Okay, there you go. Oh, there's the music. That's what we need. Okay, thank you for taking time out to listen to us today as always. We'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can also direct message us. We're on email, contact@newportcityradio.org, and as I mentioned throughout the show, we're really enjoying you coming up and saying hello to us at the moment, so please do that. Okay, the news. Not the news that... Yeah, but the news. We are back on Tuesday at 7 o'clock for the world-famous and festive legendary mid-season review. And we've got some guests. Who we got coming in, Luke?
We have Kieran. If you're a County fan, you'll know the fantastic work that Kieran does in terms of videos and things like that. So, yeah, really, really looking forward to having him in the studio.
And we'll hopefully have Chris Chappell also recording, giving his thoughts as well. We will catch you Tuesday, the 19th of December, for your mid-season review of the 23-24 season so far. More talking points, more banter, and more top-class analysis.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now. Newport City Radio.